Hello, lovely people. How are you doing? Welcome back to another book chat, which, as you can see, is in a different spot again. Yeah, I keep moving around the house, not just the video, but in general. This actually was the bedroom, and then the other day I dismantled the bed and put it into the room that had been the office and workout room, where it doesn't really fit. Well, it fits if you have one side against the wall and you don't want to open the door too much. Which is probably not ideal, and I'm sure I'm not going to be too popular with the SO when he gets home and sees that. But on the other hand, I have a really nice office, so you know. um, right, how have you all been doing? How are you coping? Are you still under a form of lockdown where you are? What's changing? How are you managing? Yeah, things have been strange. It's been another strange month. Here, where I live, it's a quiet little place, so I can go for my runs, and out of 3 runs in a week, if I see one person, I'm quite shocked. I saw two last Friday. I mean, I don't know what was happening there, which is fantastic because I find that I've always been, I like my personal space. I don't like crowds. I don't like people too close to me and that sort of thing. And I've become really, really aware of it now, even more than I used to. So every sort of trip to the supermarket is a bit, oh. But yeah, things carry on, don't they? And I really hope that you're all looking after yourself, you're staying safe, you're staying healthy, you're following whatever the best advice is where you are. And yeah, so let's talk books. Right. So my reading has been all over the shop this month. I've had a load of DNFs, did not finish. Just my head hasn't been in the right place. I'm reading about 4 different kind of marketing business side of writing type books, which I'll read a chapter and go, that's really interesting, put it down and walk away and not come back to it, which I'm sure I will get back to it. It's just a matter of focus at the moment, because even when you're used to working at home, things are just different, and I really do notice that my focus has been completely off on much more. I'm jumping from one thing to the other a lot more than I normally do, and it takes me a lot longer to get focused on a single task. So yes, apparently learning important things for what I do is not one of the things I can focus on at the moment, which is great. However, after last month, I talked about the fact that I was reading a lot of non-fiction because I just really couldn't get into very much fiction, and my normal comfort reads just weren't working for me. So for me, a normal comfort read is a really good middle grade sort of fantasy adventure, a Percy Jackson or a Diana Wynne Jones or Cressida Cowell, the How to Train Your Dragon books, and something like that is always what I reach for when I want to turn my mind off, or a really fun sort of adventure, cozy mystery type thing. Which wasn't working for me last month. However, this month I picked up Jenna 12 Sharp, which I am working my way through in order. I don't really think they need to be in order, but that's just, I quite like that every time I spot one, I'm like, oh, there we go, I'll get the next one. Although I'm at the point now where I can't remember what I've got. So, and also I can't go to any bookshops. So there we go. And as ever, it was just a really fun read, and I was so happy to be able to get back to one of my normal comfort reads. It just made me so pleased. I was just like, oh, great. And so I sort of devoured that in about a day, and it was wonderful. And yeah, fantastic. Always good if you just want something that's, popcorn reading, I call them. They're fun, they're distracting, they make you laugh, and they're just really good escapism. And besides which, the grandmother in here is awesome, and I love her so much. In this one, she actually briefly joins a rock band, which is fantastic, including costumes and hot pants. Awesome. So fantastic read if you're just looking to switch off. I then had a bunch of did not finish because I was just really, really struggling, and I have got my old Kindle up here because the covers look so much better on the Kindle Fire, but it's just really, really slow. So The Last. And I'm going to mention this one, even though I didn't finish it, and I normally don't talk about my DNFs, because I really like the concept, and I'm still not entirely sure if I just got impatient because that's where I am at the moment, and I know I'm struggling to focus on a lot of books, and books that normally interest me just aren't really gripping me. So the situation is there has been a nuclear war. Essentially, there's been nuclear strikes all over the world, and this one group of survivors are in this hotel in Switzerland, and in the middle of it all, they discover that there has been a murder, and the narrator sets himself off to find out who the murderer was, which, in the middle, in the aftermath of essentially the apocalypse, that's an interesting choice. But I thought, it could be really good. This could be really, really interesting. But essentially, the main character really annoyed me. There was lots of things where I was just like, boy, that doesn't make sense. There was, one of them was, the power. So, the power's still working just fine. And that really had me wondering, okay, we've got generators. No, don't have generators. Okay, we're still on mains power. I don't know enough about it to know if that was realistic or not, but to me it just seemed a little bit strange. There's lots of things in there which just sort of tripped me up. And I was like, I don't know, does this make sense? Does this not make sense? I can't tell if it's just me or not. So in the end, I just got too annoyed with it. And I put it down and just, that was it. So that was a DNF for me. But the writing was good. The concept was interesting. I'm not sure if I'm interested enough to try it again, but it was still one I wanted to mention because I really did think that the concept was quite fun. So I also read, I'm going back to the other one now, jumping around. Come on. So The Deadzone by Stephen King, which was a reread from probably when I was a teen, maybe early 20s, something like that. And we're not going to talk about how long ago that was, but it was a while. And Stephen King is, in a way, he's a comfort read for me as well, because I always feel I know what I'm going to get. I know I'm going to get a good story, I'm going to get good characters. They don't always hit the mark exactly, but the storytelling's always good. And I always just feel like I'm in good hands when I pick up a Stephen King book. So in a way, it is comfort reading for me, even though it's sort of like, am I comfort reading a horror book? That's quite odd. And not one of his more uplifting endings either, really. But it was a good read, and it was good to reread it after so many years as well, because I actually had this conversation with someone on Instagram the other day. I have a terrible memory. And I was actually a bit worried until this friend on Instagram mentioned that they have exactly the same problem, where you read a book and you're like, that was amazing. And then someone goes, what's it about? And you go, yeah. I can't remember. Not quite that bad. But, it is almost like reading a new book when you're reading it again after a number of years. So, as ever with Stephen King, I pretty much recommend him. It's a blanket recommendation. Yes, sometimes some are more horror-ish than others, some are more gory than others. That's not one of his gorier ones. There are some very nasty scenes in it though, but it's a good read, and I did thoroughly enjoy that. Okay, so I can't believe this is all I've read this month. This is terrible. I'm sure I'm going to finish this video and go, I did read more, but that's the memory again. In my defense, I've just been reading very, very little, like a chapter a night when I go to bed, which is not much for me. Okay, so Battlestar Suburbia by Chris McCrudden. This was so much fun. I really, really enjoyed this. It was funny. It was engaging. The situation is that in the future, the machines have become sentient and taken over, and humans are basically cleaners. But the beauty of it is it's not like, it's all these sort of fancy robots. One of the main machine characters is a bread maker called Pam, Panasonic. And it's just really, really well done. And it plays like any sort of good sci-fi or fantasy. It plays with, for me, it's important that they play with humanity and the issues that we face. It's not just a straight, space guns type thing, because that's just not really what I enjoy. So yeah, it talks a bit about how we treat the other, I think would be the best way to put it. But it does it in a very light, very funny way. And it is just a really good adventure. It's a good romp. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I will be getting the next one. And that, I would say, is my best read of the month. Absolutely loved it. Battlestar Suburbia, for anyone who fancies reading that. Yeah, I gave the situation. I didn't tell you what it was about. Right. So Darren, a human, his cleaning cart is lost into space and he can't get it back. He tries to go on the dole, tries to go on unemployment, and everything, and then he can't get it, and everything goes downhill from there very rapidly, and he finds himself leading a revolution. So there we go. That's a very quick summary. And obviously, because of course I'm going to mention this, Gobbelino London and a Contagion of Zombies, which is out this Friday. So this is book 2 of the Gobbelino London series, and I'm so excited to be sharing it with you. With all the Gobbelino ones, I have an enormous amount of fun writing them. All of the books I have an enormous amount of fun writing them. But I have to say Gobbelino does have a very special spot in my heart because he's a horrible cat. He really is. And he's great fun to write. So Gobbelino London is out on Friday. It's book 2, in which Gobbelino and his human sidekick Callum find themselves dealing with an outbreak of zombies in Leeds. And there are many adventures. I can't even summarize the plot from my own books. That is terrible. So if you haven't pre-ordered yet, the pre-order is available for the ebook at 99p until Thursday night, and then it will go up to full price. And if you haven't read the first one is also available, A Scourge of Pleasantries, and you can find them all. I'll put some links below the video and blog. And that is about it from me this month even. Wow. I hope you're all looking after yourself. And yeah, we shall talk to you next time. Hopefully with a little bit more coherence. We'll see. Probably not, but possibly in a different room though. I'll probably change it all again by then. Anyhow, I hope you're looking after yourselves, lovely people. We'll speak to you soon.